Hi and welcome, it's Ruth here. Welcome to the Stampin' Sunday blog hop, and this month's theme is to create a fancy fold, or yeah, that was it, fancy fold. So I have been wanting to make one of these cascade cards for absolutely ages. So I've already pre-cut everything because it's kind of a bit easier to do that off screen, but I will give you the measurements. So what you need to do is basically cut a full sheet of cardstock into a size that's easily divisible by kind of 3 and 6. So if you are somebody who works in inches, if you cut your cardstock to about 10.5 inches by whatever your width of your paper is, just use that. So in the UK, ours is about 8.5, sorry, 8.25. So yeah, it doesn't really matter in terms of the height of it, but the length needs to be divisible by 3. So if you're a centimetres person, then I cut mine at 27 centimetres wide so that I could have columns at 9 centimetres wide. So once you've cut your card, score at 9 centimetres and at 18, or if you're using inches, that would be 3.5 inches, 7 inches, and then 10.5 is the end point there. Then what you need to do is put a mark from the top left at about 3 inches down, or about 8 centimetres down, and 3 inches from the bottom. And then when you put it into your trimmer, you basically cut from your mark to your mark, and that's how you end up with these two pieces. Then what you need to do is pop this section into your trimmer and cut at the halfway point, halfway down between this measurement and this measurement here. I have to say, I didn't actually measure, I just eyeballed it. I just looked at it and thought, yeah, it's roughly halfway between there and there. That's halfway from there and there. Now, you do need to take note though. You need to cut it so that you've got a slit at the top, slit at the bottom, slit at the top. And then when you put this piece in, okay, so if you're going to be putting it into your trimmer, it's always best to have the straight line at the top. You then do it the opposite way round. You put a slit at the bottom, slit at the top, slit at the bottom. Okay, that's how it works. And then in terms of putting it together, all you do is you have these, the wider pieces meeting you, and then you pop that into there. And then you need to just very gently and very carefully slide that section into there, and then this section into here. And that's how you end up with your fancy fold kind of mechanism. And then after that, it's up to you how you kind of decorate it. Now, I've not done one of these before. I've got an idea of where I'm going with it, but then we'll see how it goes. Right, so I've used the Dahlia Days stamp set and the coordinating dies, which are called the Detailed Dahlia dies. And what I've done is I've cut out 2 of these. Now I've used soft succulent here, and I've cut out 2 of these, and I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do to use this to decorate. So I cut my die in half. Oh, actually, before I cut it in half, I actually scored it. So I measured the width of it, and it's approximately 10 centimetres wide. So I'm just going to pop this in approximately the 5 centimetre mark, and I'm going to score. Now this one, I didn't think about it and I scored through that leaf there, but I'm actually going to try and not score that leaf because it's very hard to fold something that's so tiny. So I'm just going to score on the bits that are actually attached to the main portion there, and then going to give that a little bit of a fold, because I need this to fold because I'm going to be attaching it to this section here. And then I'm going to cut that in half because I don't need all of it. I want to make use of it, because what I'm hoping to then do is to stick this section onto here. Now what I did find was, I just need to get my scissors ready, that if you were to try and stick that straight on, You may have some bits that are sticking out, protruding at the sides, depending how you've cut it. If you've cut it well, then you're all right, but if you haven't, then, oh yeah, this piece, you can see that there's like little bits that kind of want to stick out. So what I've done is, obviously that's the top that's going to show. I'm just going to trim off these sections here just to make it a bit easier to stick later on. So, oh, I've done that one already. Oh no, it's this one. There we go. So I'm just going to cut off that section there. And bring that one down. There we go. I'm just going to check that it fits, because it's all got to flatten down when you put this in your envelope. So all that's got to obviously sit well inside. There we go. There you have it. Oh, now that one's I'm going to have to cut in. Am I going to have to cut that in half? Or oh, I might be able to stick that on the front instead and then cover up the design. Right, now I'm thinking, how am I going to stick this on so I don't get lots of kind of sticky everywhere? And I'm wondering whether to use the tear tape and then pop a little strip of card on the back just to stop any extra sticky coming through. Yes, I think that's probably the best thing to do. So I'm going to have to think how I'm going to do that, and I'll come back. Right, I've had a little think, and what I've decided to do is I'm going to cut, now I need 1, 2, 3 strips of cardstock, and this is about 1 inch thick. I'm going to score at 1.5 inches. I'm going to pre-score, because once this is set into place, I'm not going to be able to get in there and score it. So I'm pre-scoring. So I'm scoring at 1.5 inches and then cutting at 3. And then I'm just going to cut another strip here. And I'm planning to stick my fancy little dancy pieces onto the cardstock, because it's really tricky to stick detailed elements and not have the glue poking through, because it's really important that this comes apart again. If it was just going to be in situ and, you know, it's not moving, then it's not a problem. But, you know, when you've got glue that's, you know, wants to kind of do its thing, then I'm thinking I need to find a way of hiding it. So I'm just going to pop that onto there and just going to see how that would work. So if I fold that up like that, oh no, it's this way around, isn't it? And then if I'm sticking that whole section to there, that is so much better. Right, I'm going to do it that way. Grab a glue. So it doesn't really matter then how gluey this section gets, because it is going to be attached at the back. Now the other thing to remember is to line up your score mark with the score of your piece, your little rectangle piece. And so I wonder if it's easier to start with this one first. So I'm going to insert that into there very carefully. And oh, there's that flower wants to, I'm going to have to just trim that flower off because it wants to stick out a bit. So I'm just going to trim that back. Okay, start again. Pop that into there like so. I'm going to move it so that you can't see the card rectangle. I'll get it about there. And then I'm trying to make sure that the score aligns with that. So I'm just going to wiggle that around. Hope for the best. Okay, I'll give that a good rub. And see then if that will, so that needs to be able to fold. There we go. Put it back down again. Yay, okay, that works. Right, we'll try that one again. So I'm going to get my scored piece here. I might just fold it just to help it along. And then add my lovely filigree. This is such a pretty die. Now I might have a problem with that flower there. I'm just going to double check and see. Yeah, I will. Okay, I'm going to have to just cut that bit off a little bit. I'm just going to cut to there and add some more glue, and then pop that into there. Now I'm doing this and thinking I should have done this the other way around, where I did it from the back, but never mind, live and learn. I'm going to cut that one off as well. Slide it in, and I'm looking for that score line as well to be matched up. There we go. Rub, 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 rub. So, as I said, this is a fancy fold card. So this is a fancy card that you would probably give to someone very special who'd appreciate all the work that you put into it. So let's do that once more. So I am keeping this in the video because if you want to skip forward to the next bit, that's fine. But I do find that when you're learning something new, it is helpful to watch things over and over and just see how it works before you tackle it. So I make no apology for keeping this section in, but as I said, you can skip forward if you feel you've got it already. So I'm just going to pop that one, oops, into there. Now, because we're onto the back piece now, it doesn't matter so much if it's protruding a bit. Oops. You know, so that leaf is coming out from the side, but that's okay because it's the back piece. All right. Oh, this looks gorgeous. This is just what I wanted to have happened. I had this image of this card in my head of how I wanted it to look, and it's coming together. Right, so now this section's actually going to go on the front. So you're going to kind of do the opposite, and you see how it's cascading down. Isn't that lovely? So this one I can just put glue across here. Actually, fold it that way. And that one can go there like so. And I've got my... Oh, no, I forgot to get my other one ready. So score at 1.5, cut at 3. And this is all going to get covered up with some flowers and things, so it doesn't matter that it's going on the front. So that can just neatly cover that section up like that. So make sure it's glued well, and then also fold it so that I know it's all good. So I'm just pushing everything. There we go. Right. Now to do a bit more decorating. So what I did was off screen, I pre-cut and stamped these lovely flowers onto fresh fuchsia cardstock, but used Highland Heather ink to do that. And I've just remembered that I was going to try and stamp some very Versailles script. So I'm just going to stretch that out and do that now before things start getting too complicated. And I'm grabbing the soft succulent ink. I just want tone on tone because I want a very subtle little hint of this in the background. So just having a look where I want this. So I'm just going to pop a little bit there. And because it's a little bit lumpy bumpy, it's not going everywhere, but that's absolutely fine because I want this to be a kind of like shabby chic look. So there we go. I'll flip that over. Pop some on there. And then lovely, and then pop a little bit on here as well. Okay, and then I think what I would like to do is I'll make sure I've got a cleanish brush, is to pop a little bit of extra ink just down the edges. Now, if I thought about this before, I perhaps would have done this earlier, but I was so excited to get all this lovely lace on that I forgot. So just a little bit of ink here and there. Okay. So as I said, I've got these lovely dahlias, and I just want to give these a little bit of a ruffle and a tease, so that once they're stuck down, they've got a bit of shape to them. And I'd like to have, I've got 3 of those. Now the other thing you can use is the inside of your, the lid of your Tombow. And you can also even use your Stampin' mat just to give that a little bit of a shape as well, if you find it too tricky to do on your hand. There we go. And then these flowers, look, you can just squish them in like that, and that just gives those a nice little bit of shape. And I may even use the ones that I haven't stamped, and I think I might just put a little bit of Highland Heather on the edges of these and have those. And then there are these gorgeous little tiny little weeny ones, which I think I'll just leave as they are. And if you have the embossing tool from the what's it called, the scoreboard, these are great for just poking in like that and creating a lovely bit of shape on these flowers. So I've pre-cut all my little bits and pieces. I've also done some butterflies. I've cut 2 of each of the small butterflies from the butterflies dies, and I've slathered them with Winker Stella, just absolutely covered it. And then I've also tied some double bows with the black and white gingham, and I have also put some Winker Stella onto some of these leaves that I punched out, and these are all in soft succulent as well. And I use the gorgeous pearls here, and added onto the little sprig there, I've added pearls ready to go, and then on some of these little flowers I've also added pearls ready to go as well. So what I've decided I'm going to do is actually stick one of the dahlias, and I've already folded it slightly. I'm going to stick that in the middle like that. But before I do that, I'm going to give it a little bit of a bed of leaves. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue, and I'm also mindful not to have the stem cross over the middle, because when this opens up, I don't want any extra sort of tension really between any cardstock. So just bear that in mind, that when you're sticking these leaves down, not to have it coming over the middle section. So these just go on very easily like so, and it's kind of like a bit of a cross formation, you know, going across like that, because I kind of want to hide that little piece, that cardboard piece that I put on earlier. Excuse me. So then I also want to put these bows in. Now the best things for fabric or ribbon are the glue dots, if you're not going to use a hot glue gun or anything. So I'm going to be very liberal and put quite a few of these on here to make sure it doesn't go anywhere, and also hope it doesn't stick to my fingers. Just pull that a bit tighter, and there we go. So stick that there, and I can always add more. Like you see, that's popping up a little bit. I can add more glue dots if needs be. So you've just got to look where the fabric wants to be, where it wants to lie, and then put extra accordingly. And so I've got another little one here that I want to put here. And again, I'm trying to stay clear of that middle section, because I don't want to add too much bulk to that. So this is very definitely a fancy fold card now. It's a very fancy card, and it's been worth the time just to spend doing the additional little bits and pieces because it all adds to the overall effect of it. There we go. So that's all nicely put on. Find my, where's the one that I folded? There it is. So that's going to go in the middle, but before I stick that down, I'm just going to add my little sprigs. I think what I may do is use dimensionals. So I'm going to pop these sprigs into place, and I've got another one somewhere. Here it is. Pop that there. And I'm thinking if I just pop them into place and just remove the flower, I'm going to use dimensionals to stick it into place. So pop one on top there, because these are all going to get hidden by the dahlia that I'm going to stick on there. So I'm going to put quite a few to make sure everything... Oh no, that's probably a bit too low. No, don't do that one there. Right, and of course do not put any dimensionals across that middle seam, because that middle seam has to open up. So pop there. Get my... Actually, I'm going to just do it like this so I know exactly where it's going. Like so. There we go. And then see how that then still folds open. Okay. Right, now I want this bit of ribbon to behave itself a bit more, so I'm going to decide where I want it to go. Actually, I think I want this one a bit further down now. You can go off like that. So another little glue dot. I'll pop it behind there. Put that into place. Right, so we're on a roll. So I've got some of these little ones as well. So let's pop one of those in there. And then I've also got... Put one in there. This is the fun bit now. You've done all that hard work of cutting and stamping and whatever. Now this might need a bit of a special envelope to go on it. I also have some of these really tiny little flowers, so I'm just going to do a little bit of I'm not quite sure where to put these. Maybe a couple there. Maybe one over there. So I'm going to use my take your pick tool to pick up my little purple ones. Pop those into place. And one there. Oop, stay. Sometimes you just need to be a little bit forceful with these to make sure they know where they're meant to go. Oh, and I'm using the pointy end, and by actually poking into them, it gives them a really interesting texture in the centre, and also helps it to stick down. So there we go. Right, so that's that middle section sorted. So now what I want to do is add some additional flowers into the background there. So have that there, and then I want to have space for the butterflies. So let's pop that one into there, and it's helpful to keep it folded to do that, so that you're not, you know, sticking it somewhere where it's going to interfere too much with the mechanism. Right. There we go. And then we do have space for some additional leaves. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of, oh, hello dimensional, a little bit of glue onto the back of one of those, and then just tuck that down behind the dahlia. Dahlia. I seem to use the two pronunciations quite, you know, interchangeably. Okay, right, and then I've got some of these little purple ones left as well, these smaller flowers. So I'm going to just touch those. Pop some in there. Well, I have to say this has been very enjoyable to make. I don't often make super duper fancy cards, and this, it's quite nice just to spend the time to do something. Oh, no, that's not going to work. I was trying to peel the backing off and peel the whole lot off. Put one in there. And like I said, I do want to leave space for a butterfly. I'm just trying to think where. Oh, do that one there and there. Now my only problem is if I put that butterfly in there, I've got to be very careful where I glue it so that the glue doesn't go everywhere. So I'm going to put the tiniest spot. I'll put another little spot there. And I think if the glue does come through the back, I'm just going to have to stick something on the other side. Or the other option is, I have done that in the past, where if it is a little bit sticky, I know what, I'm going to just pop a scrap piece under there and push that down. So if any glue does want to come through to the other side, I've caught it with the cardboard there. And if it's still sticky, I get my little embossing buddy and I pop a bit of powder on the back to make it not so sticky. Right, so I've got my other little black butterfly to go in there as well. Again, tiniest amount of glue. And use that backing just to hold it down. Okay, just remove that. Okay, so I'm nearly done. Just wondering where else I can put some extra sprigs. Seeing as I've cut these all, so I may as well use them up. And as they're all soft succulent, you know, it's not like I'm adding anything else too drastic to this, so it can cope with the added texture because it's all tone on tone, so it works quite well. Oh, have I got space for another one? Got space there. Oh yeah. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you want to see all the other creations of the Stampin' Sunday blog hoppers, we are the fourth Sunday in the month hoppers. Well, that's me anyway. It's all organised by the fabulous Sarah Levin, and do go and check out. There are some amazing artists on the team actually. I'm always inspired by what they create, so please do go and have a look. Just going to pop a little flower in there. In you go. Because when it's open, you do sometimes get a little glimpse inside. Oh, we've got a little space over here for some flowers as well. Okay. Pop those there. Little cluster of 3 there. Oh, that's my tummy rumbling. See if I've got a spare purple one to know. I think I'll leave it as it is. Right, there you have it. That's my fancy fold card, and I will have better pictures on my, oh, forgot a sprig. I'll have better pictures on my blog of this, so if you want a really good look at how it really turned out, then do go and check out that blog post. The link will be in my description, and yeah, go and grab yourself a cup of tea and have a nice mooch around all the other hoppers. So I just want that to go. Sometimes the stems are far too long and you just need to give them a little break. So there we go. There you have it. So my cascade card. First time making one of these. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. If it's your first time visiting, please do subscribe to my channel if you like what you see, and please remember to give me a thumbs up on the way out. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye.